Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanics Speak Out TV, brought to you on Bright House Cable every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. We want to give our thanks for Bright House Cable. We've been on the air with Bright House for 8 years now, talking about Hispanic issues, what's going on in the Hispanic community, the good things, the bad things, and the unjust things. Just now, we just finished an interview with Dennis Freitas, and we were talking about redistricting. And now we're moving on to Orange County schools. I'm here with Jose Vasquez, and he says that there are jobs available, believe it or not, in Orange County. And I had to hear it and I had to bring him on so that we can hear what about where these jobs are, so that you can get a hold of his phone number or whichever the process is, so you can apply for these jobs. There are jobs available in Orange County. It's like little nuggets of gold. You got to know where they are. You got to mine for them. And you got to make the effort to get them. Right, Jose?
Absolutely, Danny.
So
you couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, we do have a website you can actually apply, but it's a little difficult. It's not as user-friendly, but a lot of people don't even know that we're even hiring in this environment. You would think with all the budget cuts and everything here, but we are. We're in desperate need of mechanics. We're in desperate need of bus operators.
Let's slow it down a little bit. You said mechanics. What kind of mechanics do you need?
We need diesel mechanics as well as white fleet mechanics. Orange County Public Schools has over 1,000 school buses that run daily during our school system. And these buses have to be maintained constantly. And we need people with diesel backgrounds that can come in there and pick up the job. We have different starting levels. And even if you come from somewhere else, and our starting salaries may be a little low for some people here, we start mechanics around $15 an hour. But let's say you've done this job previously and you have up to 5 years experience. We'll grant you 5 years previous experience and give you that credit for that, if you can verify it, and we'll bump up your salary.
And these are full-time jobs?
Full-time jobs.
Benefits?
Benefits, yes.
Where are you guys? What else you got?
We also have openings in our bus operators. We need bus drivers, absolutely.
Drivers. And what do you need to qualify for that? By the way, do you need any kind of educational, high school? Or
we need a high school diploma.
For the driver?
For the driver and for the mechanics, yes.
Okay.
Obviously, the mechanic will probably have some extra schooling with technical school. But for a driver, you need a high school. You have to have a clean driving record for 5 years. And you just have to be able to pass the test. We'll even pay for you to take the test. We'll put you in our class. We'll train you. While you're in training, you're even getting paid. And we're paying for that. So we're in desperate need of the folks that we can use. Okay. And a lot of times we like to get people from the community because it works easier to work in the community that you live in.
Of course. Do you have anything else besides the drivers now?
We have bus attendants. These are the people that actually watch our special needs students.
Okay.
We have openings for them as well.
And those are people that ride in the buses?
They would ride in the back of the bus, and they're the back eyes of the driver.
Okay.
You have students with all types of students. You have students with oxygen, trachs, suction cups that we need to be monitored.
Okay.
And that's what these attendants actually sit there and do.
Okay. And what is the website for this?
It's www.ocps.net.
OCPS.net.
Yes.
Okay. And is there a career, you click on something that says careers?
Yeah, you tab over to the left side of the website and you'll see an HR employment session, and you will go through, take the steps by step, and go through the whole process and then apply. Then there's even a phone number you can follow up on the bottom and see how your application did or if there's any hang-ups with it.
Okay, but it has to go through the internet?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How successful have you guys been in recruiting? Well, obviously you're in need, right?
We're in need.
You haven't been successful in recruiting these positions.
Well, it's not just Orange County. It's a nationwide distress call for all districts in the United States looking for mechanics.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a field that more people don't tend to apply for, or they don't think they qualify for.
Okay.
And it's amazing to see the people that don't apply because they don't think they qualify. And really, what have you got to lose? A few minutes of your time to apply.
Have you been reaching out to the community with PSAs and stuff like that?
We've just started that as well. Yep.
Okay, if you need any help in that area, let me know. I'll help you out.
Absolutely.
Okay. So there it is. There's a lot of jobs available in Orange County. You have people to work on buses, over 1,000 buses in Orange County. They need people to work on engines and mechanics. They need people to drive the buses. And they need people to attend while the buses are driving students inside the buses.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and how many of these jobs are actually available? Do you know offhand?
I think we're offhand around 20 drivers that may be short right now, and about 8 mechanic positions.
Okay, so that's 28 jobs available. for people who really, really, really probably need them,
Absolutely.
you know? Is there anything else that you want to tell us about Orange County and what's going on with the job opportunities?
I'm glad you asked, Danny, because there is a couple other things. Besides the job opportunities, I hear constantly, as an areas manager that I was for 18 years, been for Orange County Public Schools, a lot of the Hispanic community says there's no way for them to communicate or even check on what's available for their students, in the community for their students, or at their schools. And I want to make sure that it gets out there. There are websites they can actually go online. They're afraid to go talk to somebody, but they can get on the website. And it's even points if you have problems communicating with someone there, they'll direct you in the right direction as to go. Even for pupil assignments, if you have issues with schools or you need special interest for your student, there are websites there, and a lot of people don't know they're available.
Okay.
So.
Well, Jose, you brought in 28 jobs for the Hispanic community. We really appreciate that. I'll get the word out. We'll put it on an email blast. And we'll also air it on the show. Of course, obviously, you're here to do that purpose, but we'll also support it with some email blasts.
Thank you very much.
To the
We
Hispanic
really need it.
Yeah, thank you for coming. If there's anything else we can do for you guys, just let me know. We have a pastora with us, which is a pastor, and she represents the homeless people in Osceola County. Her name is Nellie Perez, and she's been working with homeless people and needs of the community for over 45 years with her husband. And she's become a very, very well-known person in the Central Florida community that has organized kitchens and food to help the homeless people, particularly in hard times, in Central Florida. And I'm here with Myra. Myra has worked with me in the past. She does job fairs in the community. She's also a person who's extremely well-known and at the grassroots level throughout the community. Hi, Myra. ¿Cómo estamos?
Muy bien. Thank you so much.
Good, good. And, okay, so let's start the conversation, okay? How did you two meet?
It was, I think it was in 2001. I was looking for somebody to
10
come.
10 years?
Just about.
Okay.
I was looking for somebody. I was doing a health fair, and I needed somebody to come help. And she came across, I think, right? And ever since, although she was just one of the vendors, I saw her heart for the people, especially for the homeless. I saw the way, it's not the same when you see somebody working 100% into something that gives her no cash back. And back then, when I asked her, how are you making your money? How are you surviving? She said something to me that really caught my attention, and that's how we became very good friends. She said that she trusted God to the extreme of knowing that He was going to supply for her family, her kids. This is how she called all these people that come to her house, and everybody else, because she feeds more than 100 people a week, and she's not working, and her husband is not working either. Okay, so I was curious to see her true faith and see how far this was going to really become a reality, but I wanted to see it with my own eyes. And that's how I started visiting her and seeing what she does, and seeing how she doesn't care if she has $20 and she knows that you have a car and you don't have any gas, she'll give it to you, even if that's the last thing she has in her hands. So I not only became her friend because of her heart, but because I admire what she does. And honestly, I always told her, I said, I wish I had at least half of that passion and that heart that she has, because I don't understand it. I don't know how she makes it, but it's definitely proof of how God works. And if you really want to know the miracles that are being performed in Kissimmee, it's just spend a week with her, and you'll see how God provides food for all these people, how she has a home for all these people, and everything else that she does, because it's not just about giving them a home. It's about giving them love. It's about giving them a job for them to be able to continue on. And that's what she does. So that's why, that's how we became friends.
So Pastora, tell me how all of this works. Do you have a building? How do you take care of people who knock on your door? I mean,
we do have a missionary house
okay.
that I call a headquarters, where everybody, goes and asks for whatever their needs are. And also, I was working with at the Central Cultural Center from Puerto Rico. I was there with them for about 17 months. They facilitate the place for us so we can feed them there. So I did volunteer work there too, through the week, Sundays and Tuesdays. So I can be there at least those 2 days with them, trying to help them, you know, and to get them jobs and to get them all the information they needed to live. So it was a good thing that I had those 2 days, because some people sometimes don't know where to go, and if you have the information, you know, ready, it is good for them, good resources, you know, that they'll have everything there for them.
So what exactly do you provide them? Somebody comes and knocks on your door. The person's desperate. So what happens then?
Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you one thing. I pray. I pray with them, because some of the people are nervous, they have anxiety, they got all kinds of conditions when they're hungry, okay? So you need to calm them down, first pray, and then give them what they need. I give them food, I give them clothes, and whatever there is that they need, I try to provide. If not, then I'll make phone calls, and I get from other resources, I give them referrals to other places, you know, but I don't let them go like that just the way they can. It breaks my heart.
Okay. And do they stay over at night? Do you provide, what about that?
I had some of them that are staying with me for 7 years now.
Really?
Yes, I have like 4 of them that have been with me for 7 years. And sometimes I tell them, boys, you have to be prepared, because one day I'm not going to be here. And they call me mommy. And they say, no, mommy, don't say that, because you're going to be here for us. And then, you know, I tell them, be prepared. It's, no. You're not going anywhere. So when you mention the word death, they get scared, you know. But, you know, I do it sometimes joking with them, you know, to be prepared if I'm not around, you know, try to get help somewhere else. But, you know, they cry. They cry when I mention death.
And how many people have you processed over the past, when did you start this?
45 years ago.
And you've been doing this for 45 years?
Yes, 30 years in New York.
Okay.
And 16 years here.
And where does all the money come from? I mean, how do you gather the money for this? Do you gather it yourself, or does other people help you?
I have worked all my life until 5 years ago. All my money and the money that we have saved, my husband and I, we spend it on the homeless. You know, and my family, my daughters, they're professionals. You know, we work very hard for our daughters to be professionals, and they help us too with the money, and they help us give the services to them too. They participate within the mission.
This is highly unusual.
It is.
It really is highly unusual. And this is your mechanism. There's no outside. There's no other churches. You don't belong as a part of an institutional church or organized religion.
I don't. We're independent. I have a 501c3. I have all my papers ready. My pastor in New York, they blessed us, and they say you got to go and do what God tells you to do, and that's what we're doing. You know, we don't depend on churches. It's very hard. A lot of churches here in Florida do not see the vision the way we do. You know, when they see a homeless person, what they do is, oh, you have to go to Pastor Nellie. She's the one that takes care of them. You know, and I do. But instead of helping financially or getting together, you know, with the cost, no, they don't do that. I don't know. It makes me cry, but you know, that doesn't stop me from get going. You know, my heart is there with them. I have a lot of love and compassion for these people. You know, they are rejected from families, rejected from society.
Do they have mental problems, or are they just economic problems?
Some of them has mental problems. Some of them, it's just they have marital problems and they're out in the streets. There are many factors, you know, why these homeless are in the streets. They're abused, you know, and there's many things that happens in many different people, you know. So I'm related to most of them, you know. I can help anyone that comes to me.
I heard that, you know, Orlando passed a law not to feed homeless in certain areas in the parks.
Yes, I heard that too.
How do you feel about that?
we cried when we heard that, because there's a lot of need out there, Instead of helping, trying to get them somewhere or give them a building so somebody can manage it, they don't, they just turn them away, and they're just humans like me and you. I just don't see why can they help them. They haven't done it here in Kissimmee. I'm blessed. But I don't know if that law is going to pass. It's going to be coming here in Kissimmee, but I'm ready for that too. The Lord has blessed me, and nothing has happened to us yet. But we never know. We have to be prepared for everything that comes.
Myra, what are you working on with her now? Is there any special projects that you're working on with her, or is it just ongoing support?
It's ongoing support. I'm always trying to...
Making phone calls and...
Well, basically, I'm always doing, like I did with you. I come to people and I tell them, look, this lady needs help, okay? Because although I know there's much more that she can provide if she had a little bit of help, true help, okay? Like, for example, right now, there's so many buildings in Kissimmee and Orlando that are empty, okay? And that they belong to the state. And I always thought, what about if they can donate or put a small fee into one of those buildings and give it to somebody like her who has been working and proven that this is something serious that she's doing with her family, okay, to other people. And provide a location so she can accomplish more than what she's doing right now with a little bit of what she has. It's not only to feed the homeless, but she takes care of them as to giving them a home with love, help them to get the resume. I mean, she gets them all the way through the process of getting them ready to be back to normal, okay? You know that a lot of people, they become homeless, not just because they got sick. A lot of people become homeless because they lost their jobs, okay? They went into depression, and people don't understand how it feels to lose a job until you do, okay? Until you don't know what it feels to lose your home, to lose your phone, to lose everything you're accustomed until it happens to you, okay? So a lot of people, they can't handle that, and they end up being homeless, okay? Because they just need somebody to support them and say, look, let me just give you that little push that you need. She has ways, which amazes me, to get people good jobs, okay? So a lot of people that I've seen come into her house, they end up having a very good job, salary paid, and they can move ahead. A lot of people that are homeless, that's all they need. They just need somebody to say, I love you, what can I do to help you? And to actually do it. And a little bit. I always believed a little bit of helping one person will help 100 people. It all depends how you see it, okay? Because if you look at it, this person could be a dad, could be a mom, could be a son. And when this person is homeless, it's affecting the entire family. And usually they end up using drugs and drinking because they want to escape to what's going on. And if we judge them and we say, oh my God, look at all these people, making all this mess, and not really truly pay attention that these are human beings like you and I, like she said, then what are we doing with our world? But if we actually help just if each one of us will help just one person, we would not have any homeless. If we go even further, which is something that I suggested once to somebody, I said, look, when you have a church that has more than 100 people, when they come to church, everybody will give out $1, just $1, okay? If you have 100 people, you're going to be collecting $100 every time people come to church. And you give that $100 to somebody who's going to be blessing other people like she does. You know how much we can do just with $1? You know how much it costs to go to one of those fast food to feed garbage on your body? More than $5. But yet $1 can make a difference when we put it together. And this is why I'm always walking around saying, look, you want to help somebody? Help Nelly. Help her to continue her mission. Help her to accomplish what she wants. There's so much more she can do. She wants to educate them. She wants to be able to create so much more. She gives them everything she has in her hands. So if you and I, we get together, a lot of people do the same, and we give her just a little bit, I know she's going to go and give it to them. It's not about her becoming famous. She's not into that. That's why you see that she's very quiet and everything else. That's why I gotta be the one doing the screaming, right? So, but it's like
You're not screaming.
this. Well, basically, it's like this, okay? Things, little details. She won this at, I think it was this yesterday.
Puerto Rican break on Friday.
Because of her effort,
gala.
people are starting to see quietly this lady and her husband and the job that they're doing. But it goes a little further. This will not feed anybody
Indirectly,
indirectly.
because the
But it would not.
recognition helps.
Exactly.
When
But
people know what you're doing.
exactly. But it's something that we can all do. We can all work together to change the situation.
There are 15,000 children die of starvation every day. That's a big
That
number.
hurts.
That's a big number. And it seems that when people are on the fast track, work, got to be there 9 o'clock, got to be home at 6, got to make dinner, they're such on a demanding fast track psychologically that there's no room for compassion for other people other than I got to pay the electric bill. Because let's face it, right now we're in a very, very bad time in the United States. The reality is the haves are making a lot more money. The rich are getting richer right now
Okay. Yeah.
because the middle class is losing and they're picking up the marbles that the middle class is losing. People are buying real estate today from the real estate that people have had foreclosures on. That's a fact. When a house gets foreclosure, it sells for very little. Somebody with money, a lot of money comes along and they buy that house. And we're seeing more and more homeless people as a result of that. I met a lady who her house was foreclosed on. And when somebody goes through that trauma, because, okay, you have this gigantic bank down on you, you have lawyers coming down on you, you don't know how to defend yourself. And she did become homeless for a time. She actually became homeless in Central Florida for a time.
I met a lady that she was homeless because of losing her house with her 2 kids. And she was like running, it was odd. She had a job, but she felt she had to run from the state because she didn't want to lose her kids. So this lady was living in different camps, just parking so that she can use their bathroom for the children. And yet you should have seen the way they got so united because of the situation. Because that happens too, okay? A lot of things happen, everything happens for a reason. But yes, there's families, mom, dad, and the children that are losing their homes, that are losing hope. And that's something
There's
that
a
we
lot
need
of
to-
that going around the country. I remember
Yes.
I went in New York, and I'm a New Yorker. I came from New York like you did, and I've been here 14 years. And when I used to do what I did in New York, I used to be up late in Manhattan. And I went into the bus terminal one day at 3:30 in the morning. And there were families sleeping on the floors in the hallways of the bus terminal who were homeless at that time.
Wow.
You were working in New York at that time. I don't know if you ever went to the bus terminal at that time, but that was the first time that I went into the bus terminal at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was just simply amazed that there was a mother, father, and 3 kids all sleeping on the floor in the bus terminal. And you have to question, where's this country going to when citizens of the United States are sleeping in doorways and they're citizens of this country? And the distribution of wealth is getting worse and worse. 1% of the population of this country controls 90% of the wealth. So, and that has given me a lot of conflict as far as politics go and my political affiliations, But what you see going on in Orlando with you're not allowed to feed the homeless in the street and in the park is going across the country all of a sudden. So you're going to have 2 pieces of society that are going to be at odds with each other completely. You're going to have people that are suffering and people that are homeless, and you have people that have, and the distance between them is growing and growing, and there's a lack of sensitivity for the ones that don't have, the ones that are hurting. So people like you come along, and it's like a light in the darkness. So I have to compliment you, and for 45 years, it's incredible that you've been doing this for 45 years.
And I'm not giving up.
Do children show up? Do you take care of
Yes.
kids too?
Yes, we have children showing up, but parents, they're living outside, like she said, in the cars, and they already know me. They come and they know the time that I'm feeding, and they come for that food.
And then what happens after they eat? They just go back into the community?
They just go back outside and wherever they are.
Well, where do they go? They sleep in the park?
They sleep in, there is, behind Walmart, there is, in all those bushes, there's a lot of kids in there. People don't know that yet.
Really?
But I do.
Well, they're there at night?
Yes.
And not during the daytime or during the daytime?
During the daytime, they go to school, you know. But when the summertime comes like this, it's hard for them to keep children in the bushes.
And the parents are there too?
They're there too.
And what do? They camp out there? It's a camp? They sleep there?
They hide there because some of them, like they don't have jobs, and some of them, like you said, they lost their homes. So they just come out in a certain time, and they just go to try to get food somewhere where they're feeding, and they go back into the bushes.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. Just a few months, you didn't see it. It was on the news. The people coming out of everywhere, and they didn't have no places to stay, and it was a big commotion about it.
Well, what else do you want to say, Myra? What you do job fairs too to help people? You do medical fairs, health fairs?
Health fairs.
And the health fairs, I understand you get doctors to give free exams to people that come to the health fairs?
Exactly.
Okay. And how do you do that? You go knock on doors and...
I go knock on doors, I go sit down in the waiting room and drink their coffee. That's how long I have to wait. But I'm willing to do it because it gives me the
How do
opportunity.
you make money? How do you survive doing that? Because you're doing what she does. You're doing a work of passion. And how do you survive doing that? I mean, you got rent to pay, right?
Of course.
Okay.
I have, I live through the vendors. I tell them this is how much you have to pay for the booth.
For the booth, yeah.
And that's how I go along. Okay.
It's a practical system because I've done that many times. Where if you try to do good work, and you try to do work in the community, but no matter what, you have to have money to do work in the community because it costs money, and a lot of people don't want to support that kind of an effort, yet they want to take advantage of what you offer. You know what I mean? So I've been through that with my job fairs. I try to do job fairs in the worst, and you've done it too, in the worst economy that this country has ever seen since the 1930s. And you do a job fair, and people want to come to the job fair, they want to take advantage of the job fair, employers want to come to the job, they want to take advantage, but nobody wants to really, really help you out. You know what I mean? They don't want to help you work it. So if you have a calling like the ones that you do, it's a burden, is it not?
How do
you see it?
Not to me. I mean,
not to me either.
I do it with lots of love, and it's a pleasure serving the community. I just hope that somebody will see this.
Well, I think they will.
Listen,
I think they will.
And they will have a heart.
You have to do more of this, but we ran out of time.
Okay.
This is Danny Ramos on Hispanics Speak Out TV. We've had a very interesting dialogue here. We will see you next week, every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. And thank you, Bright House Cable.